Would you like to continue yourself?
Sure. I don't know what the format is or how much time I'm allowed.
We're pretty loose.
Okay. I have a lot of stuff here, but I won't bother going into a lot of that there. As you know, my name is Eddie Aubrey, and I live in Pacific. I have for the last 3 years bought a house here. Been in King County, lived here for the past 21 years. Despite my young-looking age, I'm much older than 21. But let me just tell you why I applied for this position. I applied for the position because I have dedicated my life to public service for the last 35 years. And I've demonstrated that by staying within public service because that's what I have a passion for. My purpose and passion in life is to make a difference and add value. That's the way it's always been. Ever since I was, from the beginning, I was born in Tacoma, Washington, and then I ended up traveling around because my father was in the military, ended up in Southern California. We eventually came back here, and I've been living back here for the last 21 years. But the reason why I'm dedicated to public service is because of my career. My career started off as a law enforcement officer in Los Angeles, or in Santa Monica. I was a Santa Monica police officer for 5 years. I did a lot of things down there, working inside as an FTO, field training officer, traffic accident investigator, such things. Then I transferred to Los Angeles Police Department, and I spent the next about 13 years with the Los Angeles Police Department doing various things there. Working in the community, working the DARE program for 4 years. I know that there was some mention about that. And I did a lot of those great things. But the reason why I transferred from Santa Monica to LA, because Santa Monica, you made a great deal of money. But I was raised in South Central Los Angeles, and that's why I went to Los Angeles so I could go ahead and provide my police services in that area, and I lost a great deal of pay. Then the riots happened in Los Angeles with Rodney King, and I asked myself another question. I said, well, how can I make a difference and add value? Am I doing what I need to do? And then I decided to become an attorney. I got accepted to law school up here and in Los Angeles. I moved up here because I said, if I got married, where would I want to raise a family? So that was not a real big question for me. So let me boil down the rest of my time here. I spent 18 years as an attorney. I was with the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office as a Deputy Prosecuting Attorney for nearly 10 years, working on the Narcotics Task Force for 5 years, handling felony and misdemeanor crimes and such. There was a split in time, and my most recent attorney job has been as the Chief Prosecuting Attorney for the City of Renton for the past almost 4 years. In my past history within the last 21 years, I've spent 10 years as a Judge Pro Tem for King County, which I am currently a Judge Pro Tem for King County District Court. I did work at Auburn and in Kent Municipal Court. I have 4 years of executive management experience in Tacoma Community College, and that experience was as a department head of public safety. I was also the risk manager and also the director of custodial department. For 1.5 years in that period of time, I got a phone call from Fresno, California, and they wanted someone to start up their office of professional accountability, which they call the Office of Independent Review. So I was hired down there because, again, my passion drove me to that public service. And basically, I was the police auditor for Fresno, fifth largest city in California. The office closed down because of lack of funding. I came back up here, and that's when I went to Renton. I have experience in the Office of Independent Review in King County, in Fresno, working with City Council, working with City Council members, with the mediation program for police officers. Also, I worked with the mayor. I was in the mayor's office. I worked with the city manager there, so I had a lot of different experience. I went through the budget processes down there, and I saw many different things with the budget processes and participated in that. Also, at Tacoma Community College, I participated in the budget process as department head for 3 different departments, also as their risk manager. So I did that kind of work there. I was also asked, after I set up an emergency meeting while I was at Tacoma Community College, after the Virginia Tech incident, about campus public safety. We set up a forum that day, and I was contacted from the legislation about asking for a supplemental budget with Governor Gregoire. So I worked on that project with capital projects with the state board, and we asked for $8.4 million in 2008. That was difficult with the budget shortages and cuts, but we did receive $1.7 million, and I spearheaded that program for campus public safety. So that was my work with the Washington legislature. I worked with various different groups. I've been part of councils or vice presidents of groups or treasurers of different groups, and I've done all that because I have a passion for the community. I have a passion to serve. I have a passion to add value. And that's when I saw this position, I said, I can add value here in Pacific where I live. And that made sense to me. So obviously I have a lot of experience in law and justice. I have experience in the legislature. I have experience with working through civil ordinances at Renton, dealing with public nuisances, also the criminal aspect, also with ordinances. So I will stop there because I've taken too much time already. But I am excited about this opportunity. I appreciate the time, and I'm happy to answer any and all questions.
Councilman Putnam.
Stock question for everybody. A lot of people come to City Council looking to make some particular change. Is there some particular issue you'd like to see changed, or some particular area where we can do better that says, yeah, this is the time to get into Pacific, or any particular area you feel you're most interested in improving the city?
Well, my interest came about when we were actually looking for homes, and when we were thinking about purchasing a home here. At that time, there was a mayor here in town, and there apparently were some issues that were going on, and that brought some attention to me. And that's when I said, you know, I would like to help out with what's going on, but I was new to the community. I said, I can just only watch and listen and participate in community affairs and things like that. So that's where my interest actually began as far as the city of Pacific. So no real specific changes. I mean, I have a lot to offer as far as my background as an attorney, being a fair and neutral person, looking at the facts to figure out what's going on, listening to what people said, because that's what I did actually in Los Angeles. Because after the Rodney King incident, I was one of a few officers that were sent out, and we did town hall meetings. And so we were talking to about 250 people that were highly upset about what was going on. And that's what I did, and we worked through a lot of different issues. In Fresno, I did the same thing, worked through the community, worked with the community, and talked about the issues that they had. And that's, I've always been that part. So that's what I think I can help out with the council and be a collaborative member of the group.
Councilman Rosado.
Seems like you're a fairly knowledgeable and busy man. Would you have the time to dedicate to this? I mean, it's not just a Monday night council. I mean, in order to do the right job, you need council members that are out and around in the community and find out what is actually going on in the community, and talking to people all the way through the year into the different committees and everything. Will you be able to dedicate that time?
Yes, I would be. I have thought about that, and of course, with knowing that it's just not a Monday night issue or every other Monday or workshops, things like that, I've seen the work that council members have to put in behind what they have to do. And as the letter indicates, probably in my packet there, I'm transitioning out of being a chief prosecutor and setting up my own practice. So I will have time to go ahead, and that's partly what's exciting about it, is that I'll have some more time to go ahead and look at the issues here in Pacific and participate in the community. So that's what really excites me about that opportunity. And I have and even with a full-time job in Fresno or any of my jobs, it's just like being a prosecutor. It's much more than an 8-hour job. You're preparing cases, preparing trials until 10, 11 at night, getting ready for it, and it's very time-consuming. So I've been very used to that, and especially as a police auditor, being called out on an officer-involved shooting in the middle of the night, spending the next 18 to 20 hours on scene and interviewing officers, I understand the commitment. And that's why I think public service, you have to be committed to public service. And that's what I've been throughout my life.
Since we had these vacant council seats coming up, which is going to be on the election in November, is there a reason why you did not throw your hat in the ring for one of those upcoming vacant seats?
Well, I had thought about that, and it was earlier in the year. And I was actually considering what I was going to do, because I've been a prosecuting attorney for so long, pro tem judge, I was thinking about that for a little bit. And I was also thinking about, of course, being a chief prosecutor, well, where am I going to go from there? And I asked myself that question, but I didn't ask myself that question until other folks had applied, and that I wasn't really focused in on that. But when, after that time had gone, I started thinking about it, and I said, you know, how am I going to make a difference? Where am I going to go? Which was part of the reason why I'm moving from and transitioning out of prosecuting and being a chief prosecutor into my own private practice, to go ahead and look at the other avenues. And this is one of those avenues that I feel that is very, has a lot of opportunity.
Other questions from the council?
We have various different committees that we're all on, at least two. So, you know, Monday nights and then usually one, you know, one every other week. And we're also usually always involved in community events and supporting community events. What type of committee do you think you'd be best suited for?
Well, I did apply, but it was back when you had the other mayor in place, to the Civil Service Commission, because that's where I thought my background would be very beneficial. And so I have been interested in that, and I seem to have missed, I think, another opening that occurred in between that time, I think. But that would be one of the committees that I'd be very interested in.
Council committees are different than boards, like the Park Board and Civil Service. We have technology, human services, public safety, which you probably
Public safety.
public works, what else? Governance.
I'd be interested in obviously public safety. Governance is also an area that I...
ordinances.
Well... Exactly, yeah. They're very exciting. But technology too. I'm really into technology. And not to shoot my horn, and I'm working through that. But I am one of the Apple world developers, and one of the app developers. There's thousands of them, but I'm just one of those. So I'm working in developing apps and every year for their conference. So I'm very much into the technology part. So when you're talking about wireless for the senior center home, that is part of my background.
Watch the YouTube.
And you were here at the budget meeting last week.
Yes, I was.
What did you think?
It's very similar to other budget meetings that I've been to when the department heads reviews up and things like that. And I think what I saw was a lot of intelligent conversation, a lot of conversation about different parts of it there, which is not unusual. I mean, it's not unusual with my experience in Fresno, not unusual with my experience on the college, where you have a lot of collaborative minds thinking differently about how to address something, trying to reach the same goal. So I was quite not surprised, but when I saw it, I said, now that's a good environment to work with, because when you have different minds and you're talking about different things, but you're working towards the same thing and you collaborate, yes, sometimes there's issues, but if we're reaching for the same goal, sometimes you don't agree, sometimes you do, but I think that's the good work that you all do.
Okay. Thank you very much for your interest. We can't vote at this meeting, so next week you're welcome to join us. And recommend.
Sorry, Glenn.
I was very impressed. You all have services, actually.
We take it a lot more than you imagine.
I can turn it on now.
And turn it off.
Yes.
So I think that's it for us. Thank you very much. And you're welcome to, if you want to step in the mayor's office until we're done with all the interviews, and if you would like to send Howard.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. You'll all do great work, and I'm hopeful that possibly I could be a member of the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.